Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron IV: The New Order, Last Days of Europe with me, Alpha Pi Omega, and Empire of Japan. So we ended on a very weird note in the last episode, and I had a couple of hours in between the last recording and this one to think it over, and I have two theories. Either our military is going to rise against us and it is some sort of an organized coup, which would make sense because it's the Kempeitai that's organizing it, or the Chinese are behind this. And in that case, we might get dragged into a war with the Republic of China. Now, I'm not sure how strong China is. They should be much weaker than we are. No, they're not. They have deployed strength of nearly 1.4 million. Jesus Christ. Okay. But their factories are way weaker than ours. Now, at least we would have the strength in material. So what I think I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna take... We have two armies here. We have one down here in state of Guangdong, and we have one over here in Seihoku Homegun. So I'm gonna keep you guys over here, just let you drill, and I'm gonna pull you guys out of Guangdong because I don't trust those. I don't trust those. I think that in case of a war they would join China. So you're gonna join. You're gonna join. I mean, you're gonna position yourself in Korea, where you are going to be protected from a possible incursion in the future, and you're gonna drill there as well. Now, I was looking at what we could do with our units, because we need to make them a little bit stronger. I think an emergency solution could be giving them motorized artillery and a regular anti-air. That would actually work pretty well, or we could, not even do the motorized, we could just simply do an artillery here, which would significantly help with the soft attack and defense for our units, because these are primarily defensive units. Eventually, I really wanted to switch them to the main battle tank recon company, because that helps with pretty much everything. And what was just defense, and we would like to give them something else instead of this. Maybe a tank helicopter company that would be much better than the support artillery, and the engineers could also be switched to a main battle tank. But again, we don't have the army experience for that, which is why you guys are gonna start drilling, and I think I'm gonna actually drill them even after they're gonna be done. Where are you guys located? You're over here in Kangde. I'm actually gonna reposition you over here and put you on the border over here. Can you? I can't establish a border there. Okay, never mind. You are located here, that's fine, and you are located in the north, that's fine as well. You guys are over here, which is also fine. And the first Imperial Army. I'm thinking I'm gonna reassign you to the second Imperial Army group, and we're gonna send you where? This is 100% just a precaution. But I really don't like the way this is going. Vietnam, okay. So we get a territory down here. So I could definitely position you over here. Okay, that's stupid. That's also stupid. That wasn't the plan at all. Okay, for some reason this is not working the way it should. So I'm just gonna do it manually like this. Can't I extend it over here? I can, a little bit further. Okay, I cannot put it anywhere else but this. Okay, but you're gonna drill, which should start giving us a decent amount of army experience. Actually, it's not. Okay, but it is something. The motorized units are not great. I'm actually considering turning them into infantry units. Because that would make... Or I could turn you into the tank divisions. That would maybe make more sense. Yep. So we're gonna turn you into the tank divisions. So we'll have 3 infantry and 2 tank divisions, and I can actually drill or train a couple of new units for you, because all of you get 7 infantry, so that will require 4 extra infantry units, and I think we can actually do that. That makes a lot of sense, and we can even... I can put you there. Okay, never mind. So train you over here. Let's see what's gonna happen, because I'm really not entirely certain how to read the signs that we're getting right now. We're working on the urban investment strategies and the school construction incentive and expanding the Shinkansen. The expanding of Shinkansen is gonna be really good. It's gonna increase... Okay, here we go. Well, it's getting much worse. The Prime Minister's orders to raid the Kenpetai had been taken to heart by the Home Minister. Not wanting to waste any more time, lest the Kenpetai discovered that they were compromised, he had contacted the Navy. Nanjing was the heart of the military's police power. Except for around the ports, they could be found patrolling the streets in equal frequency to the IJA. To crack open their headquarters, the Navy would have to provide the manpower. Below decks of an IJN warship, a unit of the Special Naval Landing Force prepared to storm the streets leading up to the Kenpetai compound. Surprise was their biggest advantage, as there was no reason to believe the military police had any idea of their presence, or reason to believe the military police had... or impending strike. Their orders were simple. Open a path to the heart of the compound and seize any documents housed within. Resistance was to be met with force. 3 boats departed from a warship under the cover of darkness. Each one filled the capacity with Marines of the SNLF. Upon entering the Nanjing port, the Marines climbed up onto the docks and headed deeper into the city. The unit then split in 2 and readied themselves to pincer the compound. The lone guard at the back gate of the Kenpetai HQ was quietly dispatched, a rifle stock which emerged from the shadows connected with his jaw, knocking him to the ground. Meanwhile, a similar scene took place at the side door, where the guard was startled by the Marines before he too was knocked unconscious. With everyone in position, the raid began. Doors at both the back and side of the building were kicked open as dozens of the SNL troops swarmed in. Within 30 seconds, most of the ground floor had been taken without as much as a shot having been fired. Only the military police near the armor and barracks put up much of a fight, although overwhelming gunfire from all sides eventually dislodged them. The building was filled with the sounds of Marines rushing towards the upper floors. The race was now on to find the Kenpetai's archive before any of them had the bright idea to burn it all to the ground. Not a second can be wasted now. Okay, we're gonna deploy a couple more units of Air Force now, because we have a ton of those. Yep, the jet fighters. Jet carriers, and we have a lot of transport planes over here. So you guys gonna be deployed and drilled. Do we have any tactical bombers? Okay. I'll drill you guys as well. We might need them soon, so let's just be ready. Jet fighters. Wait, did I deploy? Oh, those are carrier fighters. Oh, my bad. Okay, move you back to the reserve and get the jet fighters, 200 of them here. We're gonna put 200 of those over here. Can I keep 147 in reserve? And 200 jet strategic bombers. Okay, well, the military strength of our empire is increasing. We can do it though. We have an economy growing really fast and stable government. Everything is okay. So investing a bit more into the military in preparation for a possible conflict with the enemy is good. Somewhere in China, 1957. Is it the death of DEFCON? From the open windows of the abandoned farmhouse that DEFCON called a field base came a terrible hacking cough. This was followed by a crashing of glass and toppling of furniture. To the Yuntong soldiers who called DEFCON a commander, this was all part of the nightly routine. At the end of the day, he would seclude himself in his farmhouse, drink until he could no longer stand, and then fall into an inebriated stupor. His men cared not. They in fact appreciated the calm after the drunken storm. Silence meant that they could rest and avoid DEFCON's cruel gaze. Even so, the coughing was particularly wild that night. When it was suggested that someone should check on him, the idea was immediately shut down. Disturbing his sleep was deeply unwise, and it usually ended in someone being beaten to the ground. The Yuntong would simply have to sleep through the torturous noise. The morning usually began with DEFCON viciously waking everyone by whatever means he felt necessary. Yet this morning DEFCON was nowhere to be found. The decision was made to now finally check on him. Inside the farmhouse, the Yuntong found the corpse of their commander. The open eyes and mouth, pallid skin and bloody phlegm on his shirt was enough to confirm it then and there. For about a minute no one dared to even move. Not one among them had considered what to do once the bastard actually died. Some had even thought that he was going to outlive them all. The silence was then broken by a suggestion everyone found agreeable. We take the body to the woods, bury it, and leave. The body was carried to a clearing deep in the woods and buried in an unmarked grave quickly. No one stayed at the spot for long. Once they had all returned to the farmhouse, the former Yuntong exchanged looks and departed. Some wished to return home, most simply wanted a home to return to. Not a word was uttered as these men left their old wives behind. The spectre of DEFCON haunts no more. So with the exception of the third guy, whoever he is, we heard a mention. They have all decided to leave. It's kind of interesting to see. I wonder what the connection is. But it's kind of interesting to see that, you know, we thought that these guys would be our biggest threat, yet they are all gone. They are all literally gone. Okay, you're almost there. You guys are already in position. Okay, I'm gonna spread you guys a little bit more, like so. Which is gonna be rough, won't it? I don't know if you have enough force for that. Okay, we're getting more production units. The truth. Hold your fire! As the haze cleared from the entranceway to the Kenpetai archives, the bodies of 3 military police lay scattered on the ground. Where most had simply laid down their guns or tried to run, it seemed that these men were willing to die for what they were guarding. When the commander of the SNLF unit trudged through the blood-strewn and bullet-ridden corridor, he quickly noticed that the door to the archive was firmly locked. Someone go get me a key of one of the bodies now. A moment later, a key was placed in the commander's hand. He wasted no time in unlocking the door. Fearing that he might still have arrived too late, the sight of untouched shelves and cabinet was a relief. Search this place now. Get going. As the Marines headed into the archive to begin their search, the commander's attention was quickly drawn to a small unmarked box that had been placed on a desk. Inside was a single unmarked file. According to every verifiable source at our disposal, it would appear that DEFCON has been dead since the late 1950s. The exact cause of his death is not entirely understood, but it can be concluded that alcoholism and general poor health were a contributing factor. Despite the description of events given by some of DEFCON's closest followers, a burial location has not been located either. We are also not aware that DEFCON's followers did not attempt to continue operation. We are also now aware that DEFCON's followers did not attempt to continue operations following his death. We can therefore assume that the Yuntung is no longer a threat to the Empire in any capacity. As soon as he was done reading, he turned to his second-in-command who was waiting by the door. Take this dossier to Tokyo. Oh, and I wouldn't dare giving it a look, son. I'm sure everyone will know what's inside soon enough. The diary may finally put to rest. Iberia abolishes the Iberian Council. The Caudillo Francisco Franco has announced to a large crowd and international press coverage that the Iberian Council will cease to exist within a week. Originally created to serve as a position to allow for trusted figures to share their expertise with the caudillos to allow for better governance, the council has allegedly deviated from their goal. Rather than just advise the twin rulers of Iberia, apparently the institution has attempted to undermine the pair and bring the corruption to a place that would otherwise lack it. In this lies the reason for the abolishment of the council. Franco stated that if they were to set such a poor example, then they had no advice of value. If there was no value and no valuable advice, there was no reason for the council to exist. Saitano could not be reached for comment. Good choice. The Republic of Zimbabwe has defeated the Botswana-Zimbabwe Democratic Front in war. Wait, so Zimbabwe is over here. And they won the war under Mugabe. Okay, ultramilitarism. Gotcha. And I wanted to see what's going on in the United States, in Soviet Union. Okay, so you are now at war with the Central Siberian Republic, led by Sergei Bessonov. Bolshevism. About 280,000 men against a slightly smaller force, but a bigger industrial base. Though you got 12 dockyards. Do you have a sizable navy? You do actually. You have 45 ships. You even have a battleship, Gangut class, and a couple of cruisers, Rykov class. These looks extremely aged. And a bunch of submarines too. What about you? The West Siberian People's Republic. You are at war with the West Russian Revolutionary Front. Okay, so Marxism-Leninism against statocratic communism. Gotcha. Well, okay. The revelation. The afternoon was the time when most of Japan found a chance to listen to the radio or watch television. Therefore, it is the perfect moment to deliver a message to the nation. All of a sudden, one evening, a special broadcast interrupted the scheduled programming on both television and radio across Japan. For those watching, the imperial seal appeared on the screen, which was quickly followed by a blaring rendition of the national anthem, which also played on the radio transmission. After a few moments, both the seal and the anthem faded away into a recording from the office of the Home Minister. Citizens of the Empire of Japan, a great conspiracy has been uncovered on this day. The Kenpatai, empowered to enforce peace and stability across the co-prosperity sphere, have been uncovered as traitors and turncoats. For several months they engaged in a scheme to sow chaos and disorder throughout Asia in hopes to topple the emperor's government. Rumors of a long-dead Chinese rebel and terrorist were spread to deliberately mislead and demoralize the government and armed forces of the empire. However, due to the swift investigation of these falsehoods, they were dispelled and traced to their source. The Kempeitai have been pacified, their compounds and offices stormed by the local troops loyal to the empire. Their pod and their very organization is no more. These traitors will be treated as what they are, enemies of state and to Kokutai. Let their fates that await be a reminder of the strength and security of the empire. As the Home Minister finished this message, the national anthem was played again and the imperial seal was again displayed. Regular broadcasting resumed just as sudden as it has been interrupted. So we have successfully managed the crisis. We gained 100 political power and we removed that as well. So we're gonna start gaining command power and I'm gonna enjoy this by investing that 100 political power into the Kyoto reinvigoration, and we're gonna also go ahead and use the public embellish the accomplishments and launch a propaganda campaign. Okay, and we need to gain more men in here quickly. I don't think there's... Oh, and we can do political reforms as well. Now, okay, that's good. We're gonna check those out, but right now I'm actually worried about this because we need to have more, or we need to be the strongest party in the Diet, otherwise we're gonna suffer bad effects. So anyway, let's speed it up and see what the political reforms are. The Yasuda crisis has shed a light on the many excesses of the Ino administration, under which our social services were left to rot. Now that the crisis is behind us, the government must once more attend to its duties and ensure the welfare of its population, even if these measures may prove unpopular with the more fiscally conservative members of the Diet. May these policy changes ensure the continued growth of our empire. Okay, so increased unemployment subsidies. We change no subsidies to trinket subsidies. Stability. Poverty will start monthly changing. Public approval increase and poverty rate will rapidly improve. Healthcare reform. Okay, highly increase healthcare cost effectiveness. Poverty rate will begin to rapidly increase. Okay. Or rapidly improve. I'm saying increase, but you know what I mean. Okay, all of these are amazing when it comes to poverty rate. Stability factor, output to current output. Strengthen pension protections. Okay, it turns out that the healthcare reform is the best one for now because it doesn't really change much on the labor protection and minimum wage because they will improve the poverty significantly, but they do not strain our budget much anyway. So okay, now a major decision needs to be made, and that's what we're gonna go for. The Rykov Conference. After a long string of actions aimed towards a more internationalist foreign policy, the West Russian Revolutionary Front has announced that they are holding a multi-day conference featuring representatives from socialist parties and other leftist organizations across the world. The conference featured speakers from nearly 30 different nations, with representatives ranging from American radical leftist activists to African National Congress representatives to social democratic representatives from Sweden and Finland. The conference concluded with a singing of the Internationale in several languages, as well as a non-binding agreement between several nations to pursue an agenda towards greater cooperation between socialist nations. It will not amount to anything. Well, we shall see. So we can invest in civilian projects or invest in military projects. So if we went with civilian, we wanted to go with the inflation reduction. And then we can encourage consumer spending. And then we could even go towards this one. And we could go with the continued blossoming partnership. Quality rate. Toast. Rebuild. Trains of the future, GDP. Okay, what about the military? This one is really good. All of it is really good. So invest in the military. War support, construction speed, maximum investment. But other than that, it gives us pretty much nothing. This one itself is very good though. Expand the MIC. The maritime ports are also great. But those are flat bonuses which we can get later on. The industry, this one, the industrial expertise is though really important. Rapidly. Connecting the dots. And increase. Okay, so you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna start by investing in military projects, despite me not really liking that. But we can go through these three. That's gonna take care of the industrial expertise, hopefully. How well did we... Okay, so it's now stagnant. So with these ones, it should start to rapidly improve, and we're gonna get bonuses to GDP. After which we can sort of chill. I could get this one as well, but the rest is fine. So these 5, and then we're gonna finish all of these and then finish up these ones. Okay then, invest in military projects. The Army and Navy consumes massive amounts of both raw materials and finished goods, and spending money on them is an excellent way to curry their favor. A military budget hike is, however, not the way to fix our problems. Instead, we will begin a series of development programs to increase the amount of resources that can be extracted and produced across the country, as well as expanding the MIC in hopes of increasing the military's efficiency. So, action and reaction, we invest in military projects, which gives us war support, construction speed, and factory output. We get maximum investment in Army and Navy, and in administrative funding. Good. Okay, and the poverty rate is decreasing, which is really nice, and I really am tempted to do these reforms, but first we need to get the power in the... Because, for example, the healthcare reform, the fact that it rapidly improves. The subsidies I like, but I'd much rather take, for example, the change of 12-hour workday to 10-hour workday, because that earns our factory output, consumer goods, needed consumer, but it doesn't hurt the budget. I'm very, very overhurting the budget, honestly, because we are doing really good when it comes to GDP growth and, stuff like that. So I don't want to mess that one up. Anyway, that's all from me for now. Thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next episode.